Hi guys, back on the shiny tablecloth again. This might be a bad idea, the camera struggles with it when I've got the LED lighting on. Well, we'll see how we get on. What we're looking at here is a forklift truck toy that I picked up in a charity shop about a month ago, may have been slightly more than that. I showed it briefly and then I went on holiday and I haven't had time to get back to it since. Oh, that noise you can hear in the background, that's raining outside. Anyway, this originally was a wire controlled toy. There should be wires sticking out the back going to a hand controller, but that had been chopped off, and this is exactly how I bought it in the charity shop. No control. I paid £6 for it, which is way more money than I really should have paid, but I rather fancied making it radio controlled. In the original video I did take it apart so we can have a quick peek inside. It looks like it should be fairly straightforward. I might fit a servo so we can do the steering, but I'll just use one of my lightweight 9-gram servos, because I don't think it'll need too much to move it. Then we can control the steering with an ordinary ESC, something like that one, and we should be able to control the lift motor. I'll call it lift motor, whatever it should be. Should be able to control that with another ESC. So we need 3 channels. I've got this FlySky 3-channel receiver, so we'll find out if we can use all 3 channels on it. So we'll take it apart and have a look. In the original version, the batteries would have been in the hand controller, so I think there's enough space inside to put batteries, but it will make it difficult when we want to recharge them or replace them. So that might be a bit of a pain. Right, that's the end of the wire that would have gone up to the controller. That's the wire for the lift motor, as I'm calling it. There's our drive motor, and then at the moment it's got the motor there for the steering. So I'll have a look at that and see if there's anything I can do to replace that with that little servo. See if we can just stick that somewhere and operate the steering push rod. Right, I'm going to stop filming for a minute while I take a few things out. At the moment it's got this sound module on it. It would be nice if we can keep that. I've no idea what voltage it's expecting, and I intend to use a 2S LiPo or lithium ion, because I happen to have one laying just there. So we might kill that. That just goes straight across the drive motor. What we're looking at here is the steering control. So motor at the back, and then we've got a bit of step down gearing in there to move this side to side. So with a bit of luck I should be able to position this one way or the other to do the same job. It may be as simple as that. We'll find out. Right, just trying the drive motor. So that bit seems okay. All I've done is extended the wires and put JST leads on them. So this one should be the lift motor, as I keep calling it. All right. Okay, so that bit works. So both motors work. Now I've got to sort out the servo for the steering. I'm just taking the cover off so we can see what we're trying to do. So this is the steering that we want to push from side to side. We don't need that spring that's in there, the center, return to center spring. Get this off. Yeah, that spring there we don't need. It's been melted into place, which is annoying, but not a problem. I'll just snap it off because we don't need it anymore. It's got quite a big hole there, because it was only that little peg in it, so that means it's got quite a bit of slop in it. I'll think about that. Just looking at that centerpiece comes off. That might make it even easier to modify it. Well, I've been toying with various ways of linking up with the existing steering mechanism, thinking of how I can put rods and that onto the servo arm. And then I thought, how about just heating it up and melting it over? So that's what I've done. So now, if I try and hold it in place, so what I'll do is I'll get a piece of plastic or something to go straight across side to side there, hot glue it in place, glue that to it, and we should have steering. I'll trim this off in a minute, but at the moment I've just super glued the servo to this plastic. It's got a bit of flex to it, but I'm actually going to leave it flexible like that, because that'll be a bit of safety when it goes over its limit. But I will run a bit of hot glue probably down the sides here, just to hold this in place, then I'll probably cut it off. But that looks like that might work to me. All connected together temporarily. I'm using 2 batteries at the moment because I've got 2 ESCs. What I will do is make a splitter lead so I can run both ESCs off of 1 battery. On one of the ESCs I've pulled out the positive wire, so I'm not feeding 2 batteries into the receiver. So we've got steering setup, drive motor and lift motor. If I just lift the front wheels off, we should have forwards and backwards. Why don't we have forwards and backwards? because I haven't plugged the wires in. That would make a difference, wouldn't it? Make sure we're in the middle. Oh. Let's just lift them off the bottom while I work out my neutral position. Right. Okay, neutral position. So that's actually backwards. So reverse the throttle. Backwards. Forwards. That's the ESC that doesn't have a brake. The ESC that does have a brake I've got connected to the lift, which is, oh no, that's steering, that's lift. Yes, so it's got the lift, got the brake on that servo, so it won't go up again until I centralise it. Yeah, there we go, brakes on. Back to the middle, okay. Should be okay with this one because we've got the centralised sticks, whereas in the normal throttle position it gives me real trouble trying to find the mid position. And of course the steering. I think I've even got it the right way round. Right, left. Still haven't put any hot glue on there yet, so I'll put some hot glue on there, put the lid back on. I'm not quite sure where to stick the batteries at the moment. I think what I'll do is when I make up the T-piece to run both ESCs off the same battery, I'll make it long enough so it can actually come out the back through the hole here and just sit the battery on top for now so that we don't have to take it all apart to recharge the battery. Just remember, the other thing I haven't done is implemented the sound effects. I don't know if they'll work at all because obviously the power coming out of the ESC is PWM, pulse width modulated, so I've no idea what that would do to that circuit. I guess I could just connect up a pair of wires and see what happens. It'll be no loss if it burns out. Well, I think I was tempting fate there. I did just temporarily connect the wires onto the sound effects there, and straight away we got a puff of smoke coming out. So I don't think we're going to be using the sound effects on this one. I could have used an adapter. I've got one somewhere that plugs into a ordinary receiver port and steps through various DC options, but I've only got 3 outputs on this receiver and I'd need 4 for that, I think. Yeah, I would. Although I suppose I could have teed it into something else. But anyway, so we're not going to bother with the sound effects at the moment. We're just going to put it together and use it as it is. Before I put the top back on, I'll tidy up those wires a little bit, but we've got ESC for the drive motor, ESC for the lift motor, receiver, the on-off switches for the ESCs we don't need to use because I'll just unplug it externally, and then I put a bit of hot glue on our bit of plastic there to hold the servo in place. That's the aerial off the receiver. I could probably get it in without worrying too much about those wires. Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily, so don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.